Hello guys, welcome back to Scrap Mechanic. We're back. I really literally cannot stop playing this game. It's so cool. This is basically gonna be a merry-go-round, right? There are rocket boosters. Imagine like a merry-go-round, rocket powered, insane speeds. You would get ripped apart. But luckily we're in a game and you cannot get ripped apart. So there's rocket boosters here, and this whole design is based around the center stick spins. And then these prongs spin also, and then these prongs on the end of that spin as well. Now they're all hooked up. If you take a look at this, it's a bit scary, but oh mama, every single one of them is hooked up to this button. So we're about to push it, see what happens. You guys ready? Oh man, now I have not tested this, so it could crash the game. Let's go. Oh my god! Can you survive the blender? Yeah, actually surprisingly easy. Oh, that is insane though. Alright, now it's time to... Oh man, look at that thing. It's like some scary kind of spider. Alright, oh man, one thing that's so cool about this game is just how fluid it is. Look at that. Okay, right, so it's coming to a stop. What we're going to do now is we're going to put some seats on this bad boy. Now we're going to put the same amount of seats on, just to make sure we don't wreck the balance. And the seats are going to be facing forwards, so you're actually facing the way that you're going, otherwise you're going to get travel sick, I guess. Oh man, do you know what would be amazing? Imagine the Oculus Rift with this game. That would be insane. Alright, so we've got plenty of prongs now. Oh, this is going to be so cool. Alright, the hard part's going to be actually climbing onto the seat while it's going. Right, so the button's over here. So we're going to have to run over here and jump on one of the seats? Yeah, okay. Oh! Oh, come on! Just grab a seat as it flies past. Oh, almost. Oh, I keep getting out of it. I'm pressing it too quick. Oh, there we go. Oh my god. What is happening to my body? My body is being stretched beyond the limits of the game. That's insane. Oh, we're in first person. Oh, this is pretty sick. Let's zoom really far out to see what's happening to my body. Oh man, what a crazy Ferris wheel of doom. Oh, that's insane. Let's try and build something else. Alright guys, so I'm just so hooked on Scrap Mechanic that I cannot actually stop building cool stuff. Now, I've designed a kind of rugged land vehicle that's going to get me from A to B and zip me around the world. Basically, this is a mean, rugged machine that's built to go over all terrain. So how have I made a vehicle that can go over all terrain? Well, it's got the standard kind of front wheels that turn left and right to kind of move. But what I've done is I've added these extra suspension coils. Now, there are two kinds of suspension coils. The sports suspension, which just gives you a bit of bounce, and then there's off-road suspension, which gives you loads of bounce. And you'll see when I remove this lift that these wheels really do have a lot of bounce. There's also two engines in the back to help me push the back wheels, one for each wheel. I've also got some rockets for an added speed boost, but I don't think I need that kind of oomph. There's also some headlights at the front, so let's jump in. I'll delete the lift and I can show you how this bad boy works. Oh yeah, so you can see the way the car sinks on that suspension. It's pretty good. Okay. So as you can see, the car does have a little bit of trouble. It's got a bit of a buck to it, and you do have to do a wheelie sometimes. But as we go around this path, you can see it rolls really friendly. And the reason it does that is because A, it's got huge wheels, B, it's got sports suspension, or rather off-road suspension. But also, I've made the wheelbase really wide, so it's got a very big surface area to grip onto the landscape in. These engines are very loud though, so I hope you can hear me. Now what I decided to do was, in my new slick vehicle, okay, that's the thrusters on. Oh, nice. So this is the edge of the map. Wow, I had no idea. Oh, careful, careful. Now it does correct itself. Oh yeah, this thing's a real beast. Now we do still have the problem that it bucks. Oh god, crash into a rock. We do still have the problem that it bucks at the front whenever I get too much speed, like the whole wheelie thing. And I'm not really sure how to cure that. If I add more weight at the front, that really just slows the car down. It doesn't really bring it down to the ground much. I think maybe there's just too much power going to those back wheels. But that's definitely something to consider for the future. But yeah, this is a really rugged off-road vehicle. I love it. I love it to bits. Whoa, easy there. Oh, it's a real mean machine. Let's take a look at my Caterpillar truck. I'm going to put this on a lift so I can show you guys exactly how it works and what my thoughts were when I designed this. So we raise it up a bit. Now the front has a control seat and some wheels and an engine behind it that it drives the first 4 wheels. Now what I wanted to do was basically design a kind of Caterpillar style truck, and every single compartment, like a train, was going to have like a bar that connects it with 2 bearings. And what this means is it should kind of duck and weave like a snake. Now it doesn't quite do that properly, and I'll show you why. And I'm not too worried about it because this isn't a very good truck, if I'm being honest. It doesn't get you from A to B very good. It was more like a test of ideas and theory. It's just it's just to see if it works. And let's give it a go. Right, so as you can see, it's really difficult to steer, but it does kind of weave like a snake. And it's pretty cool. Oh no, okay, I'm just going around in a circle now. But that's okay. That's okay. So basically it's a snake truck. And it was just a test of theory that, locking these interlocking kind of carriages would work. And this is pretty exciting because it means with a proper rail system, you could actually build a train. Now also I wanted to test out a monorail. This is something I saw on the trailer for the game, but I wanted to see if I could recreate it. So what I've got is a big rail here, which is what the car drives along. And basically the car wraps around the rail like this, but there's wheels on top and 2 engines that actually mean that the wheels drive along the rail. And then hanging below, you have a driver's seat that will help us get from A to B right now. And I've also built this kind of makeshift platform for us to climb up here and jump onto. So let's see if this works. Press E to use. Oh, okay, I'm inside. Now here we get a better look at the wheel system above. I've used 4 wheels here, and these are electric engines. Now I've started to use electric engines because they're not as powerful as gas. Well, they've got more power than gas engines. They're slower, but they have more torque, which means they have more pull, more force. So they're better at getting up hills and going at slow speeds, but more steady. So let's give this a go and see if the monorail works. Now this is the first test flight. I built this, but I didn't test it, so I have no idea if it works. So exciting times. Let's go. Okay, it seems to work. Very slowly. Goes backwards and forwards. So what we're going to have to do is... Oh no, actually, hang on a sec. It looks to be... It's kind of spinning. Oh, this could be dangerous. All right, so we're going to get off and jiggle these engines so that we up the speed on the monorail. Let's give it a go. Now it's at 3 at the moment. Let's bump that up to 6. And we're going to have to do, of course, the same thing on the other engine. But I can't get over there to see it, so I'm just going to build... Oh no! Oh no! I pressed right click instead of left click. And unfortunately, there's no undo button either. That really sucks. That's a real shame. Let's move it somewhere where we've got more space. Right, and there you go. Now, this is just a small section of monorail track, just because this is just a proof of concept. I'm not trying to build a fully functioning monorail here, because I don't have anything to connect it to. Once I built, if this was properly fleshed out, and I had a big, cool scrap mechanic city, I could actually build a cool monorail system to get around. But for the time being, since I'm just testing this to make sure it works, what we're gonna do... Oh, no! What we're going to do is just build like a rough monorail track to make sure it works. Now at each end, one of the big things that I want that I don't have is a stopper. Because just like with a normal train track, if the train gets to the end, it could fall off the track, and if it falls off the track, it gets really, really awkward. So there's a stopper. And now we'll go over this end and add a stopper over here as well. There we go, and this should work. Right, now it's time to test the monorail. Now, is this going to work? First up, we're going to remove the lift. Here we go. Careful. Okay, looks like it works so far. Now, we have not actually changed the engine speeds. One of them is still at 3, so we're going to push that to 6. And now let's check the other engine. Okay, that's at 6 as well. Now let's see if this is enough speed to get us chugging along. Oh, it's a bit jerky, but it definitely works. Whoa! Okay, we've gone a bit sideways. It does rock a bit left and right. Whoa! But this is looking pretty good so far. All the way to the end, and then stop. You've reached your destination. Bam. This is really cool. There's definitely room for improvement though. As you can see, it's not the smoothest of rides. So we could definitely, oh my god! We could definitely do some things to fix it and make it better. But this is a proof of concept. And the monorail idea definitely works. So let's get off and give it some more speed and see what that does to the equation. Now that we built it, let's push it to the max, to the limit. Let's fire up these engines and give them maximum juice. See how much of a speed boost this is. Whoa! Oh, suddenly a really quick monorail that is a risk to your health. Yeah, okay, there's definitely room for improvement. In fact, I think you could probably shake yourself off the monorail. Okay, so, oh my god, as far as monorails go, it's definitely got some room for improvement. But oh my god, it works. It works. Proof of concept, right. So, we've messed around with the monorail. Now I want to show you guys the controller and how that works. Because with the controller, you can create some truly exciting things. If you want to make a giant robot that walks, and believe me, I'm going to try doing that, then this is the tool you want to use. It is called a controller. I'll drag it down here and show you how it works. We've already got a switch here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put down the controller. Bam, like that. And now we need some stuff to test this out with. So what we're going to do is I've got a column of bricks here. And we're going to add, let's see, an arm here. And an arm here. And now to these arms we're going to connect up some more bricks. Like that. And like that. We're going to add some connectors then again to these things. So we'll put one there and one there. And now we'll connect some bricks up to those. Let's bring it out a bit. Right, and now we have a bunch of bearings connected up to some stone bricks. So what do we do now? Now what we do is we hook up with this control box all of those bearings. So we can have arm 1 set to 1 and 2. In fact, you know what? We might even set another bearing as well, just to show you guys what's possible. Okay, so the screwdriver, we'll set that up to that bearing as well. So arm 1 has 4 connection points, and arm 2 is 5 and 6. That's very important. So all of these things are hooked up to the controller. Now you can right click to change which direction is which. But what we're going to do is we're going to mess around with arm 1. So let's just get it in sight so we can have something. Yeah, there we go. Right. So here you see all of the bearings and what they're going to do over the course of the controller's life. So the first bearing is number 1, and we're going to make it turn. We're going to do small turns to begin with, 15 degrees clockwise. Then we're going to make number 2 turn 15 degrees clockwise. After it's done that one. So first it turns number 1 15 degrees, then it turns number 2 15 degrees, then it turns number 3 15 degrees, and then it turns number 4 15 degrees. And that is arm number 1. Now arm number 2, number 5 and 6, that's going to do stuff a bit more complicated. That is going to turn 180 degrees, and then it's going to turn 90 degrees on the second one. Then it's going to turn backwards to its original position of 90 degrees the other way, and then it's going to go backwards 180 degrees. So it's going to move forwards, turn, then it's going to turn back and move backwards to its original position. And we're going to set it to slow so you can see it in action. Right, okay. So now we're going to hook it up to the switch. Bam. And now when I press this button, what it'll do is it'll make all of those turns and adjustments. So E. So arm 5 turns 180 degrees all the way around. Then arm 6 turns 90 degrees, I think it was. And then it turns 90 degrees back to its original position. Right, and so you can see it's pretty complicated, but you can actually get these arms to do whatever you want them to do. Now, what we're also going to do is we're going to set it to never ending. So this means it loops. Once it gets to the end of its cycle, it just starts the whole thing again. And we set the speed to fast now. And let's press use and see what happens. And you can see here now you've got a bunch of arms that do something really complex. Oh, but this one's stuck because it keeps trying to turn around. But it's gotten to a point where it can't. And that's the difference. You see here, numbers 1 to 4, our first arm, they have always forwards motion. So it's always turning forwards 15 degrees. Now I think the first point is not calculated. You see the grey one is the neutral position, which is why the first arm was not changing. So what we'll do is we'll set this back to 0, and so we'll change these values back. So it's going to go forwards 90 degrees, forwards 180 degrees, and then it's going to go back to its original position. And we'll remove all of the rotations on arms 1 through 4. Oh my god! Right, okay, so it's setting it back to the neutral position. Okay. We'll get rid of these ones, actually. Man, look at this. These things are heavy. So now when we press go, this arm moves forwards 180 degrees. This thing turns 180 degrees. This thing turns 90 degrees. And then it turns 180 degrees back the way it came. And the other arm turns 90 degrees back the way it came. And this is pretty exciting because this system means that you can actually create a leg that moves, steps forwards, and then moves and steps backwards. So it means you can actually build working robots. All right. Well, with that in mind, I hope you've enjoyed taking a look at some of my inventions, some of the things I've created, and you can go forwards in Scrap Mechanic and make some amazing things. I want to see some amazing robots from you guys. So make sure you put in the comments section if you built anything really cool so I can check it out. Anyway, as always, hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time for some more indie games or maybe some more Scrap Mechanic if there's more to build. But until then, take care.